Maybe you've noticed over the last few months, but the price of RAM, that is memory for your computer, has been skyrocketing. It's crazy. The price has gone nuts. Same SKU, same tech, no upgrades, no new generation, no new features, same exact chip that half a year ago or a year ago cost one thing, now could be double or more. Well, what's going on with this? And the reason I want to talk about it is this is not a temporary thing. This isn't tariffs. This isn't the trade war with China necessarily. There's something going on in the market that is going to affect these prices as we close out 2025, all throughout 2026 into 2027. Some experts even speculating that this could last for a decade. And this is going to affect us as consumers, not just hobbyists. Look, if you've already been buying Apple computers, you've been paying high prices for RAM for a long time. I know. Just look at the tech behind me. You'll know what I'm talking about. But if you're just a normal person with a normal PC, not abnormal like some of us, maybe you're into gaming, maybe you like to build your own, maybe you just want a new laptop for the office, you're feeling and seeing this change because it's affecting everyone in the consumer market. Why is commodity RAM so expensive? And the issue is not a consumer problem, it's an upstream market problem. We're going to talk about that. First, you got to understand there are 3 layers to the RAM market, kind of a RAM market 101 here. The first layer is the spot market, and these are the folks that buy large quantities of RAM immediately. They pay cash prices for DRAM chips. These are resellers, these are custom builders, et cetera. These are not the giant corporations. These are companies that buy large quantities of RAM on the spot market. And that market tends to be highly volatile. It's where the shortages show up first. The spot market is prices go up, they go down. It's all over the place. And these are people that are trading in chips. These are people that are reselling chips to others downstream. And this is where the most volatility is, and this is where the market starts. The next level is the contract market. Now, these are your long-term agreements with OEMs, original equipment manufacturers like Dell, HP, Lenovo, Apple. These are the companies that go in there and say, hey, we're going to need truckloads of chips, and so we're going to lock in pricing. I'm going to commit to you that I'm going to buy 1 million chips over the next 3 months, the next quarter, and I want to lock in a price on that. And so there's a lot of stability there. So the contract market is actually pretty stable. Prices don't go up and down dramatically. There's no volatility. They get reset as contracts are renegotiated. The bigger you are, the more leverage you have. You're an Apple buying chips from a manufacturer. You got a lot more leverage than a smaller company. So things don't move around a lot, but when they do move, it does have a powerful impact on the market. And then the final level or layer would be the retail market. That's what you and I as consumers see. And this is often a lagging indicator. So it's a lagging indicator of what's going on in the spot market and then the contract market plus some markup. We don't set the prices. It's not the consumer market that's creating the high prices. The retail doesn't lead this. It's the spot market that leads it. Contract market follows. And retail is way downstream of all of this. So it's the spot market that's the early warning system for consumer price hikes. You look at the spot market and you see things accelerating up there, you see those spikes up there, then you know down in the consumer retail level, it's going to hit us later. Now, the real driver behind this pricing increase isn't just the volatility of the spot market, but you've got this explosive demand now for 2 things. The one thing is you're seeing explosive demand for server DDR5. You and I are typically buying DDR4 RAM, and I'll just flash on the screen what all these acronyms stand for. DDR4 is being sunsetted. That technology is kind of going away. But when it comes to servers, you think of data centers, DDR5 is in high demand, and that's the newer technology for RAM. The other one, and this is key, is the HBM RAM for GPUs and accelerators. Both of these types of chips, both of this kind of memory gets used in data centers and AI, and that's key right there. So these customers that buy this kind of product, the server DDR5 and the HBM for GPUs and accelerators, they're buying in massive volumes and they're willing to pay high margins and they sign long-term contracts. So what happens when they do that? Why does that hurt the consumer market? It's not just that they're willing to pay a high price and now we're competing with them. What's happening is that the fabrication facilities, the three companies essentially that make RAM, and there are only three. It's Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix. These companies, it's not easy to just spin up new fabrication. It's not easy to add capacity. It takes billions of dollars and many years to grow capacity. And so what's happening is when the consumer market is really focused mainly on the DDR4, somewhat the new DDR5, and you've got these big contractual large clients willing to spend gobs of money on the DDR5 and the HBM memory. What ends up happening is those three manufacturers minimize their manufacturing capacity. They take capacity away from running DDR4 and they run DDR5 and the HBM. So what ends up happening is they're just not manufacturing as much of the consumer grade memory that you and I want to buy. They're going for the highest margin and the most reliable buyers. If somebody shows up and says, I'm willing to pay for your most sophisticated, most expensive RAM that you're able to manufacture, and by the way, I'm going to buy that stuff in the millions of chips. I'm going to give you massive contracts. And then you and I are out there going over to Best Buy going, well, I want to upgrade the laptop for the missus, because she's complaining about her Facebook running kind of slow. I know that no one's doing that kind of stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you and I are just consumers out there buying this stuff. These companies, the Samsungs and Microns of the world, they're going to go with the massive contracts. They're going to push out, the crowd out, you and I, the consumer grade stuff. And so what's happening now is, even in the past where you would think old tech would get cheaper, DDR4 should be cheaper because now DDR5, but the big giants, the server farms and data centers and AI technologists, they're all buying up the DDR5 and the HBM, HMB. Oh my gosh, all these acronyms. They're buying all that up. And then you and I are left to scrap for the DDR4 lines that are available. But again, they're not that available. So the problem is, because it takes so much money and time to expand capacity, these companies are putting money in to expand their capacity. They've got plans to build out their lines. But that extended capacity is not going to go focused on the consumer market. The only thing that could happen, you could have the AI bubble burst, the whole AI world implode, and then there's a glut in the market of memory. That would be cheap memory for all of us. However, the double-edged sword with that is, if the AI bubble implodes, you're going to see market disruption all the way down to you and I and our daily lives on a level that is just not good to think about. This would be really bad. It would be, the economy would not absorb that without almost dying in the process. We've just, foolishly kind of gone all in on AI. There's not much that you and I can do about that. I use it for research, et cetera. But in the end, there's not much we can do about that. But that is the only thing really that's going to change this. It takes so long and so much money to build out these facilities. All that investment is going to go, most of it's going to go towards, feeding and fueling the data center growth, the explosion of data centers, the explosion of AI, big compute, et cetera. And that's going to leave you and I out in the cold. So at least for the next year or two, expect really high RAM prices. However, this could go well beyond that, and we could experience something for the next 10 years. Guys, I hope this is useful. I'd like to know what your take is on all this. Do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Love each and every one of you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and check out my soon to launch, or recently launched, depending when you watch this, newsletter called Broadside. Link in the description. All right, cheers. Catch you in the next episode.